Okay, everybody, today is the last day that you can vote in the People's Choice Awards for Podcast. Please go to podcastawards.com and vote for Stage's podcast. We're in the top 2 categories, Best Podcast and Best Female Hosted Podcast. Go on now, podcastawards.com. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks,
Welcome to Season 3 of Stage's podcast.
where we continue to bring creation and connection to center stage. Steph and I went to see Waitress at ART together.
Oh, Mary
gosh,
Lee, you
that's
may have looked a little
right.
different. You were kind of swollen and red and blotchy.
That's right. I was having an allergic attack.
Was it from the wine?
Yes. I had never been allergic to wine, but I got my thyroid removed. And then as soon as I
Oh,
got my thyroid removed,
no.
all these weird things happened. And Steph and I went to dinner. And right about in the middle of the first act, I was like, why am I so itchy? What is going on?
Something's going
And
on.
then I look at Steph and I go, am I red? She's like, oh my gosh. Like my
Yes.
eye, I was like, "Phoom." So
And
I
Jess,
ran
your
to my
performance
car.
was very emotional, but when she turned and looked at me and like her eyes were this big and red, I was like,
You were like,
this is,
"It's not
I don't
that
think
good."
this is
Something's,
right.
something's bad. So I ran to my car during intermission, and Seb was just little then. So I had all these like kitty
No.
Benadryl
kitty
and stuff like
Benadryls,
that.
and I was like
Mhm.
downing kitty Benadryl. Oh, it was terrible.
Today's guest is so beloved and respected in the Broadway community. She leads with her heart, she listens to her gut, and from what I know of her, she strives for a beautiful, balanced life far more than stardom. In fact, she never truly searched for stardom to begin with, but it certainly found her. From her Broadway debut opposite Harry Connick Jr. in On a Clear Day, You Can See Forever, Jessie Mueller created a huge buzz in New York City. She was gorgeous and quirky. Her voice was out of the RKO days, and yet her powerfully current interpretation left an impression on anybody who was lucky enough to be in the audience. She was exciting to watch, and that debut landed her a Tony nomination. From that incredible performance, she moved from one show to the next, and she went on to win the 2014 Tony Award for Best Actress in a leading role in a musical for Beautiful, the Carole King musical, playing the titular character, not Beautiful, although she is, but Carole King. She has since garnered 2 additional Best Actress in a Musical nominations for both Waitress and the revival of Carousel. She has done TV and film galore, including a TV movie, which I loved, called Patsy and Loretta. I had the joy of sharing The Mystery of Edwin Drood with Jessie, and I also had the great honor of being her pal and having her in my corner. I got to tell you, watching her create art, whether it's in a rehearsal room or in a craft room, it is just a great, great privilege and a great, great joy. And for me, it's extremely healing. Please welcome Miss Jessie Ruth Mueller. Jessie Mueller to stage, please. Jessie, can we have you on stage?
That's like the nicest intro I've ever had. So I'll see you guys later.
It's really special.
Why ruin
Bye.
it? Why
No,
ruin
don't.
it?
I know. Why say any more? It's so special when you get to have like true pals that you can say, we've done far more than just share the stage together, a rehearsal room together, or dine together. We've done little bits of life together. And I just,
Sure.
thanks for saying yes. You're so special in all ways.
Thanks. As are you. That's why we're still friends.
See people? She leads with her gut.
Did you meet during Drood? Or was that
Yes, I
just the
think
first time
so.
you worked together?
No,
I
I think that's when
think
we
that was
met.
our,
When you met?
yes,
I mean, I
yes.
certainly knew who you were.
And
and
you?
But we had no, I don't think our paths had ever crossed before.
No. And that
Ah.
was a cavalcade of a lot of great, talent and really wackadoodle personalities. It was a vibrant and crackling rehearsal room. But I remember watching you and Andy Carl, because you played brother sister,
Mhm.
and the things that you
A
two
very
would work
deep
out.
layered relationship. The work we did was so.
Well, let's
Uh.
talk about that, because in this day and age, remind me of your characters' names, the Landless, right?
The Landless
Hel-
twins.
Helena
No, it's
Landless
Helena
and
and Neville Landless. No,
that's
it's so
right.
true. I mean,
You
even
would
when we were
never be
doing
able
it-
to play that role now.
Well, even when we were doing it, I remember Andy and I talking about it, saying, is this okay?
So,
The characters are of Middle Eastern descent, and even the way they're spoken about, it's very from Dickens' perspective, because he
yes,
created the characters of this sort of like a white sort of cis male fascination with the Far East,
yes, right.
the Orient, you know, using terms like
Yes.
that. And so I guess for myself at that point, I had to tell myself, it's like, well, the construct of the play is that there is this troupe of actors putting on this piece, because also the whole gist of it is that Dickens never finished the novel, right?
Right,
Am I getting
right.
this right, Steph? Right?
You are getting this right. Yep, he
Died
passed away
before the
before he
novel was
finished.
finished.
Yeah.
So Rupert Holmes, who wrote the show, had this idea, well, what if I create this musical around this story and I have the audience choose the ending? That was sort of the crux and the delight of the piece. We at least had this framework of these
Players.
players putting
Yes.
on this show. So
Yes.
I, as a white woman, was like, well, I'm playing, I guess I could get behind the fact that I'm playing a white Victorian actress in England.
Yes.
Her idea of what a person of Middle Eastern descent would be.
Yes.
And I thought, and this sounds just like I'm trying to defend myself. There are certain, right, I would not do it now. It would not be, yeah.
We only knew what we knew when we knew it. And now
that
we know
wasn't very
more.
long. That was
I
only what,
guess.
like
No,
that
10,
was
10 years ago? 10 years ago?
2012, 2011.
Something like that.
That's
Yeah.
what I know. It
So a
wasn't even
decade.
very long
Yeah.
ago.
And I don't
But-
pay a lot of attention to what people say, but like some people were offended. Some
Yes.
people then I met people who were of Middle Eastern descent that were like, we were totally fine with it. We loved it. We loved your character. My whole idea was also that this actress I was playing she thought she was getting the role of a lifetime.
Yeah, sure.
To get to play this amazingly powerful Middle Eastern woman who was so interesting and fascinating and, if to her mind, quote unquote, exotic. That
Yes.
it wasn't the actress trying to make fun of anything or downplaying anything of her stature. That she actually was looking at this person as a person of great
Intrigue and fascination.
great intrigue and fascination and honor, who was trying to fight for her place in society.
Yeah.
So, but you're
It's a
right.
really interesting wave, right? Because I remember when The Sopranos came out. What was that? Was like 20 years ago, right? Maybe a little more than
it has
20,
to be.
even, right?
probably
More than
that.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember all the Italians I knew were not at all offended by The Sopranos. All the Italians loved it. We all thought, I mean, at least the Italians I know, we thought it was the greatest show. We thought it was hilarious. We loved all the little nods and whether or not the actors were Italian who were playing the roles, we didn't even care. We just loved the show. And people who were offended, I found, tended not to be Italian.
Interesting.
And so it's interesting that you're saying people of Middle Eastern descent were not offended by what you were doing. They could see the humor in it because they were close to it, and others who maybe were not of that descent were offended. So it's an interesting thing. And things have changed so much now.
Oh,
I mean,
it sure
there's no
has.
way you could do that now.
It sure
and,
has.
And I think the pendulum has to go way, way over in order to find that middle ground. But, the whole cancel culture and people taking offense is so ripe right now. It's such a hard subject to even skirt around in this little way, right?
Yeah, I do a lot
Very
more
interesting.
listening, and I find that to be the best position right now. I'm gathering information. I'm hearing people's opinions. I'm, of course, taking that in and creating my own. But every time I feel like I have a handle on what is quote unquote, it's too binary. There is no right and wrong. There's too many nuances. There's too many shades of gray. And so you have to honor
experience. Yeah.
Yes, you have to honor
so
everybody's
different.
experience. That's right.
I think that maybe that's finally what we're trying to grasp, that yes, we can only see the world through our own eyes and our own experience. And like you say, Steph, the more we can gather information to empathize with one another and all that. But
is this happening? Do you keep in touch with the theater community in Chicago? Because that's where you started, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are these conversations at the forefront as well?
Oh, sure. Same thing. Same reckonings are happening. It's a very close-knit community there, and sort of a smaller casting pool. And so, yeah, you have a lot of these same, fights and I don't mean fights as in anything negative. I mean, like, these these things
Yep.
that we're all striving for that are
Mhm.
it's high time that it happens.
Mhm.
Your parents were both actors. What was that like growing up in a household? Because I think of Vivi a lot. She's starting to show. She
Oh,
sings on
sure.
pitch. She makes up lyrics. But here's the deal: like Seb and I have these conversations in bed, going, we want to nurture that, but at the same time, the livelihood that he and I have been so fortunate to provide is not the norm. This is not the
Right.
normal life of an actor, especially parents that are actors.
Right,
And
right. A
so we
couple
certainly,
that, yeah.
yeah. But you grew up in that household. What did that look like for you? And were there dry periods, or were your parents both fortunate that one or the other was always working? Because now, how many kids are there in the family?
There
Four?
are four kids. Yeah.
Three of whom are professional actors as well, correct?
Yeah, so all four of us.
Oh, all four of you.
Yeah, no, all four of us are professional actors, singers.
Talk to me. You're a little
No
person.
one
You're
really
8 years
became a
old.
dancer. Yeah,
Oh.
right. I'm 8 years old. Let me go back.
What did that house look like?
Um, it was, well, you speak of like, my parents were extremely fortunate. There was a lot of talk about being fortunate. There was a lot of talk about being fortunate, um, and and acknowledging that. But yes, there were also dry periods. I think kids. I'm sure you're experiencing this with Vivi, with your daughter. Like they're so attuned to what's going on.
Mhm.
They're so smart. I'm not saying I was really smart, but I'm kind of like emotional Swiss cheese. So I think I've kind of always been that way. Even as a child, I was just always very aware of the temperature in the room. And so I think I was always aware of the fact that my parents did a really amazing job in trying to create as much stability as possible in a very unstable profession, I think. And when I was young and my brothers and sister were young, my mom did less stage work. She did more voiceover work, a little bit of TV and film that was happening in Chicago at the time. And my dad was mostly doing stage stuff because she made the decision to be home with us as much as she could. But yeah, they would go back and forth. Then as we got a little older, she'd start doing more theater and stuff again. So yeah, they would go back and forth. I guess it was probably rare that they were both working at the same time, at least until we got much older or, moved out of the house or whatever. But I certainly remember there always being, I guess it was our normal, so I didn't know it. I didn't
know
know it was
anything else.
unique, right? I didn't know anything
Yeah.
else, but I was always aware of like things seem pretty good right now, or like money's probably a little tight, or daddy's a little worried about not having a job lined up, or yeah, I was always aware of stuff like that.
Vivi is very emotionally attuned like that too.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
wondering now, I believe you come into the world pretty much
Who
formed.
you
So
are.
yeah, yeah. But I do believe the nurture part of it is real. And so when I speak to her emotional intelligence or being able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
read people's body language, or
Mhm.
she was also, she has parents that are of that same language. And so
Yeah.
we have raised her
Sure.
for 8 years, and we're very effusive and we're very expressive. So, she hears the tone in our voices change. And so that
Sure.
informative,
Mhm.
understanding when she's out in the world, she can now, she can scope it out because that's her home. I mean, we're
Mhm.
Isn't
giving
that
her.
wild?
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, and I wonder too, like, because you guys are actors and brilliant actors, can you sort of fake it in front of her, or does she know? Like, if you're upset, like,
She knows.
can you sort of be like, no,
She
everything's
knows.
fine, and then
She knows.
she's like, no,
Now I have to literally time a very gentle exit from the room in order to like even pretend if we get bad news or something, I can't just put down the phone and then leave the room because she knows that's not normal for mom to put down the phone and immediately exit. So you've got to
Ah,
put down the phone and then offer her a snack and then say, oh, you know what? I forgot something. And then have another cue that will lead you because she will pick it up. She
she
knows our
knows.
mannerisms
I think
so
Isn't
well.
that wild?
kids pick that stuff up so quickly. Seb always knew when we weren't quite telling the truth, and he would come in
Yeah.
and demand it. I want to know the truth. It's like, well, you know what? Sometimes
Mm,
kids don't have to know the truth. No, I'm part of the family, and I want to know the truth. Like he would get really angry if he felt that he was not fully informed on everything
informed.
that was going on in the house. And in a weird way, I think when kids have that feeling, they end up feeling less secure about the world. than actually knowing what the problem is and saying, well, here's what was going on. They don't have to know all the details, right? So I found myself saying, well, here's what's going on, and here's how I feel about it, and here's how we're going to move through it. And I think kids handle a lot more than we think they can handle. And when they feel honored and trusted as almost like a fellow adult in a way in the family,
yeah, sure,
it really helps them expand. Do you have kids, Jessie?
I don't, no.
No.
But I appreciate, I think I'm just at the point in my life now, even in my considerations of to have children or not, having these sorts of questions of, gosh, how would I parent and what would I want to tell or not tell my children? And I have a lot of fear of the unknown. So to me, it speaks to that feeling of like, sometimes the unknown is the scariest thing. And when I think when it's a parent, you see that something's going on, you sense as a child something's going on, your little brain is just going to spin and spin and spin and spin, trying to figure out what it is.
Right.
Because you kind of only know how to take care of yourself, right? Especially when we're very young, we tend to sort of take things on as our task, our thing to do, because that's sort of all we know how to handle. Yeah, I agree with, like I said, I've never parented a child, but I think you're right. I think they can handle a lot more than we think. There's a way to reveal a truth, your version of the truth that is safe and respectful and age appropriate.
Right.
Yes.
While,
And
while
that's
letting them know
age appropriate.
That's
But
what I was going to say.
I think
Sorry.
one of the yoga philosophies is what you focus on grows, right? I mean, that's just like the law of the universe. What you focus on grows. And I think when you have a fear of the unknown and if you're even as a child or an adult, you're focusing on that unknown and you become obsessive about it because of the fear, then that's what's going to grow. But if you are, if someone gives you the truth and it becomes self-empowering, then you have the opportunity to take that energy and shift it into something else. And I think it works for kids and adults,
Yeah, I believe there's also a way to, because the world is so messy and uncertain and, let's be honest, dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And those energies are floating around all the time. And we as humans are very attuned to this is off. This is not stable. This is not balanced. But I sometimes just look at Vives and I go, hey, look, I know you can tell I'm a little off. Here's the deal. It's an adult thing and I got this. And I'm here on this earth. My whole job is to protect, keep you safe. And I'm your mama and I got it. I'm going to protect, keep us safe, make the decisions. And if I show her that confidence that yes, there is this thing, there is this challenge, there is this fear, anxiety, whatever, and I'm recognizing it. And I look at her straight in her heart and her eyes and say, but mama's got you and I'm going to take care of it. It's going to be fine. When she knows that, then it dissipates. But, something as little as she's in the back seat and the Google map is saying, oh, rerouting. Are we lost? So the two people that are in charge
and you're like,
are...
no, we're not lost. God damn it. Shut up, Google.
So for the two people that are in charge to not have it all under control, that's when she starts to get a little
that's freaky
funky.
for a kid.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
And do you feel, here's my question as a non-parent. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Steph.
Not at all. No.
Here's my question as a non-parent. Like, do you feel like the next step then is morphing that idea into like, and I learned how to do this for myself, and also part of my job is going to be to teach you as you grow and you become a quote grown up, whatever that freak that means.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That you will learn how to give yourself that sense of strength and safety, so that I will do my best to help you hone your sense of, I got this. I can do hard things.
Yes, I do want to do that. But what happens, I have found, is that first the little person needs to regulate themselves, feel safe. We'll finish the day. I'll find another moment where it's really just a neutral territory, a neutral time in the day, and I'll revisit it. Remember yesterday when we were let's chat about that. How did you feel? Oh, mama has felt that way too. And this is how I found the tools but in the moment, depending on their age, I do find that she just kind of goes into this space. Like if Seb is he wants you to know the whole story of his life for everything that he does. And it's one of the things I love about him. But in the same vein, you got to quote unquote know your audience and be like, oh, okay, they've left the building. Her mind has left the building.
Details.
Yeah. So in the moment, it's one or two sentences that just
that
allows
totally
her.
makes sense.
Yeah. And then I come
to
back.
calm and
Mhm.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Seb, my son is Seb, and her husband.
Yeah.
Is Seb,
Oh, yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so
Right.
when we
I
say
figured
Seb,
that
Seb.
out.
So
Figure that out.
my son Seb came home and told us something the other day, and we asked a question about why he did it, and he had this sort of bogus answer, and my husband was just like, okay, I think that's kind of bogus, but all right, and he let it go. And then when my son left the room, Michael looks at me and he's like, he's not telling us the real reason. I go, he will when he's ready. So about 20 minutes later, Michael was in the room alone, and Seb came in the room and sat down and was like, so anyway, Dad, and started telling him the real reason.
But you weren't there.
I wasn't, but then I had come in and he continued, telling the real reason. But I think in the moment he hadn't sorted it out for himself fully yet, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to tell us at all yet. And because there was no pressure, I was like, well, okay, that's where you want to go with that. That's fine. We let it go and came back and we ended up having this whole really long conversation about which led to 10 other things. But kids are funny. They process it in their own way. And the more you kind of just let that happen, that's for anybody, right?
I was going to say, we're saying kids, but
anybody.
this is for any human relationship. You give them space and allow the movement, hopefully knowing they're coming back. And then you keep tabs and you're like, oh, they haven't come back.
Yeah.
Maybe I should circle back around and say, hey, remember when you said, or can we talk about that? So I know listeners, for those of you that are not parents, we're saying kids and my son and my daughter, but this is all
anybody.
human relations. Yeah, for sure.
It's funny.
And everybody processes things in
different. You've been with your partner, Andy, for how long?
I think we're going on 14 years.
Wow. So almost as long as Seb and I have been together. Do you guys process things completely different? Or are you both crazy communicative and you want to get it done right then and there?
No. I think it does take both of us time to process things. I think he has a little bit more immediacy in the moment. I tend to get like bum rush of feelings, emotions, and then I go, I'm working on it, but like sometimes I just go, lots of emotions. and I tend to, I don't say that out loud. Like that's my inner.
I think you would be great if you
That's
did.
the sound of my inner voice. Sometimes I do. I go, I'm feeling a lot. Sometimes I do say it out loud. And then it takes me, I have to sort of, soothe myself and be like, great. So you had the bum rush of emotions. You need to go like sit with that for a little while.
Yeah.
And just be with it. Just be with it in the corner or whatever, and then come back to the actual like process of sorting through
clearing it out. That's what I do. I shut down too.
Andy can start to process quicker, but then he will have the thing of like coming back a day later and be like, well, actually, you know what? I thought about that. I think he's able to act more immediately on some of his feelings, but sometimes then he'll circle back and he'll say, I don't feel that way anymore about it. Or I maybe rushed to that conclusion or whatever. But yeah, he processes emotions faster too. He also like lets things go faster. He can just like get to it or get mad about something and then let it go. And I'm like that. I stew in it for about 4 days.
I turn the page pretty quickly.
You do?
If we get to now.
Then
initially,
I like reread the chapter 3 years later. And be like, wow,
I think I'm more
still
like you.
sorting through this. Yeah.
My knee-jerk reaction is defense and anger, right? It's just the way. So I always say, I need 10 minutes. I don't like it. I either say, I don't like you right now, or I don't like me right now, or I don't like what's happening right now. Give me 10 minutes. It's hard for Sebastian. He's come to learn, but sometimes he would follow me. I was like, no. This is a literal thing. I need 10 minutes. And in sitting in that, and because what happens is I lose the core of the issue. All of these other things come floating in because I also have another sort of life thing where I don't address anything the first time it happens. I think it's much like getting notes for a live theater performance. Don't give me notes the first time something happens. It's a mistake. It's life. There are,
part of the process.
That's right.
Yeah.
Second time, I don't really bring it up. I pay attention and go, oh, okay, now this has happened twice. So that's interesting. Maybe this is a thing. When the third time rolls around, that's when I go, aha, okay, we have an issue. And in doing that, then I go back to the first and second time, which seemed innocuous, but now they support why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. So I have to step away and go, what is truly the core thing here? Was it the first time it happened and I'm still holding the yuck from that? Or is it this, or does it go deeper? And that all needs to happen by myself. But then
Sure,
once
because
we
it
talk it
registers
out,
for you on the third time.
that's right.
And so you have a big reaction and then you go, oh, this means I had a prequel and like two prequels before
That's right.
this big blockbuster movie of emotions.
Exactly.
I have to go back and like review what happened. Okay.
I'm mad at Return of the Jedi, but really it was A New Hope that
But
really
you're
got to me.
living in A New Hope. Yeah, exactly.
But once we talk about it, and
But
we
is it,
usually-
I don't mean to
then I
interrupt,
can
but
turn a
is it,
page.
is it easy for you to go back and pinpoint those other two times?
Yes.
It is.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Even if it
come
was
right
a
back
long
to
time
you.
ago.
Yes.
Really?
I'd be like, where did that begin?
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I have a very hard time going way back and pinpointing, like, wait a second, what happens to me is I shut down. So we had an episode last week where I had to do something really important and I didn't do it really well and I could see where I went wrong and I completely shut down.
You're like,
And
okay,
I was like,
bye.
I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed. And Michael kept saying, are you mad at me? I'm like, no, I just am shut down. I'm going to bed. And he was like, okay, but it's 6:30. I'm like, I'm going to bed. And so the next morning I woke up and then okay, now I can see it and I can process it. But in that moment, I shut down for a good 12 hours.
And this goes back to regulating yourself. Like we were discussing with little people. It's the same with big people. You have to find that regulation in order to really process what the heck is going on with a clear head and heart.
It's really funny. Do you find it's the same process in your creative world, Jessie? Like I know when I'm doing something creative, I often will get to this point where it almost feels like a wall and I can't get through it and I'm frustrated and I want to throw the whole thing out. This is especially with writing. I want to throw it all out. It was all just garbage. And then once I break through that space is when all the clarity comes and I can sort and clean. It's almost like I have that shutdown moment with creative processes for myself as well. And then I get
Do you
past
notice it? Do you notice it in the moment when you hit the wall? Do you have that wherewithal to be like, I'm hitting the wall. I'm getting get through this, but right now,
better at it. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at recognizing that feeling inside my body when I'm like, you know what? I need to go outside and go in the yard with bare feet and play with a dog for the rest of the day because I can't do this. But up until this point in my life, I think I would just be in a bad mood all day. I would get to the mood and I wouldn't get out of it because I was so frustrated. But I'm getting better at that the older I get, at recognizing that what it is and being able to process it and move through it in a different way. But does that happen to you guys when you're creating characters or learning a script or a song that's challenging or anything like that?
I would go back to Jessie's with, I'm having big feelings. I'm having lots of feelings. Mine is when I'm developing a character, I could do this. I could do this. What if I did this? What if I did it? And so there's all this stuff, a lot of stuff where it's like choose your own adventure. I could turn to page 86 and the character could do this, or I could do this. And I remember James Lapine saying that simplicity is the sign of mastery. And so I have to pare down. I have yet to decipher if that is Stephanie trying to prove all of the many colors and dimensions and facets that she can bring, or if that's really
your
something
process.
I pride myself on, that, I can see so many different angles and exciting ways. I haven't found out if it's the character screaming out, look at all the things I can do, or if it's Stephanie screaming out, look at all the things I can do. So I need to, I don't know if that's ever going to change at my age, but at least I've felt safe enough in the room in these last several years for directors to see that in me and say, love it. Now let's choose 1/3 of what you brought to that song.
Well, that's interesting too, because the question that sparked for me is, I bet it's different in every sort of creative experience you have, depending on the room and the director, how much you're relying on yourself to do that sort of editing, or how much you're relying on a director to have the feedback of, I see you brought the 12 choices. I'll take 1, 6, 9, and 4. And I know that's not the order that numbers go in.
But you're an idea actor too. You come up with all, oh my gosh.
But I
Yes.
think I'm also sort of a type A personality, so I want to get it right, and there's no such thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
But I think what I'm learning about myself is that I take time. I'm way more patient in my artistic process than I am in my life. I think in an artistic process, I know it will come. Like I know something will be found. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I'll hit merely like you were saying, I'll hit a wall, I'll hit a hitch. But I think I'm much more patient with myself in an artistic process to say like, it's going to come, Jess. Like you just haven't cracked it yet. And sometimes it's just like the littlest thing that will open something up. But I had a director once tease me after the fact about like how long it took me to get to something. And I was like, well, we had a lot of time. You kept saying we have all this time. Let's use it. So I was like, screw it. I was like, I'm going to use this time. I am not going to push for anything. I'm going to show up. It's not like I don't do prep work, but yeah, to really allow myself. Now, I would say that's more for theatrical process. If you're getting on set for a TV or film, usually you don't have that.
Oh, you don't have that time. Yeah.
But I also find that process, I have found in recent times, what am I saying? In the recent times, that I find that's a good exercise for me. I find a lot of freedom in that because, like I say, I like to. Sometimes I get caught up in like, oh, I got to figure out what's right, or I haven't cracked the code on this yet. And it's like, you just don't have that much time to think or overthink something. You just got to go.
But you know what you're saying,
trust
Jess?
your instincts is really, that's been a good practice for me.
You keep using the word yet. And that's the beautiful thing. You don't have it yet. That means it could come 3 hours from now or tomorrow or a week.
And I do feel like I believe that. And like I say, in my creative work, in my life, I'm a little like, come on, Mueller. Like we're supposed to be 4 years ahead of where we are. It's like, I think I've lived that way for a very long time. And I'm working on not doing that, being where I'm at. Yeah. Cause I also feel like so much of the process in an artistic process is like, I don't really love doing things alone. I like getting in a room with people and mucking around. And so I feel like that is so much of the process for me, is getting that information from everybody else and coming up with stuff together.
That's interesting, because I would absolutely, and I could be so wrong, peg you as an introvert. And yet when you're creating your art, well, I guess our art form is collaborative, or else you would do a stand-up or be a writer or have like just even a one-woman show. You still need a musical director and all that.
Right. But yeah, I think I am I don't know. There's all kinds of layers of that. When people describe that, like I'm an introvert with an extroverted blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, all kinds of like step ladders from that. But yes, maybe I'm a little more introverted in my personal life and more private. But like I'm sort of in an extrovert profession.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's odd.
I hate those kind of labels because I think we're different things at different times. There are times I'm extremely extroverted and at times I'm extremely introverted.
But on the norm to recharge your battery.
I would say I'm an introvert, but everybody always yells at me when I say that. They're like, you are not. I'm like, I really am. I'm actually quite shy and an introvert.
Because what I see in you is you charge your battery alone, but then you fuel other people's batteries when you're with them. So I don't know how it feeds you when you're with everybody.
Maybe people pick up on that energy. It's like, you're such a people person.
Oh, she is. She really is. I mean, the conversations are always lively. Her laugh is contagious. Like but it's
do it. Do the contagious laugh. Merely do it.
But you're filling up other people's bank accounts. But I think you fill your bank account when you are painting or reading or walking in the woods and the animals.
Yeah,
exactly.
What about you, Steph? How would you describe yourself for us?
I have found, I just right now in this stage of my life, I just want more sleep. I love sleep. I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful gift. I still can't quite understand why our bodies just lie horizontal and then the whole thing just turns off, and we all do that. It's very like Minority Report to me. It's very sci-fi. And yet, when you go years and years of just 6 hours a night, it's all I want to do is be horizontal and just.
If you could have what is your like your dreamy number, yes, pun intended, of sleep hours? Like your
9.
Prime, 9.
Not really 9.
Yes, 9.
What about
Give
you,
me
Haley?
9.
I'm a 7. I'm a 7. We take sleep very seriously in this house. We really do.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
We sleep
Early birds.
7, 8 hours. We stop eating after 4. We don't eat
Oh,
after
that's
4 p.m.
serious. When do you have your
Um,
Cheetos? Before 4 p.m.?
and before
I'm
4 p.m.
concerned.
I
I'm
mean, there
concerned.
are days
I'm
we
too.
really like if I'm going to dinner with friends or whatever, yes. But in general, we stop eating after 4 because, and there's a reason we do it, because when you go to bed, if your body is busy digesting food and sugars, it has no time to clean your brain.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and that's why Alzheimer's, I think, is rampant, because Alzheimer's is like a diabetes of the brain, kind of. And so I'm not a scientist or anything, just from what I understand. So we stop eating at 4 because then your body's completely done digesting.
And can
And it
regenerate and
spends the
heal and get
night
rid of
cleaning-
toxins.
cleaning the brain and eating all the bad stuff. And then when you wake up, you're not really hungry. So then if you can go to like 10 o'clock, then you've done this long fast.
Yeah,
And
it's the intermittent
it's just
fasting,
really
but it's
good for
not
you.
for physical wellness. You're not looking to
No.
lose weight. You're looking
haven't
to
lost
have
any
healthy
weight.
organs. Healthy organs.
I haven't lost
Yeah,
any
and-
weight, but
yeah, and a happy
yeah.
brain. Yeah.
And a happy
Healthy
brain.
But I
Yeah.
find like I'll wake up at, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I go like, I hike the dogs, then I work and I pump out so much work in the morning. And people always laugh like, what are you sending me emails at 4:45? I'm like,
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people because I'm on the West Coast. And so when, by the time it's 8:30 her time, she's been up for 3 hours and created, a whole new business plan.
website.
And yet it's
Amazing.
5 o'clock in the morning for me. And she's like, I have an idea.
You know how many times a week I call Steph? I'm like, listen, I know you're busy, but I have an idea. And she's just like, oh, dear God in heaven, you and the ideas. Can we stop? I can't take you or your ideas. And I'm extremely impatient. So I need to get the ideas out right now. Come on, let's go. Jess, do you do any writing?
Yeah, I journal. I journal every now and then, but it's funny, like I'll go back and look at old journals, and I don't journal a lot when I'm happy. I tend to feel the need to get it out when I'm feeling dark. So sometimes I look back and I think, my God, was the whole year, was that whole period of my life just very, very dark? But it's like, no, I do tend to, and then every once in a while I'll be like, it was a good day. Like, dear diary. I don't say dear diary, but today was a good day. But I read it back like, whoa, like,
Jesus.
Look out, world. Today I was feeling positive. But yeah, I dabble in like songwriting. So I guess that's like, I wouldn't think of it as poetry. I think of it more as songwriting because I think sometimes the lyrics and melody come to me at the same time every once in a while. But so I'm kind of getting more into that. I used to do more of that too. I think when I was younger, I have little notebooks from college just with pieces of prose in them.
Yes. And
So
you
when
keep
you're-
all those journals,
My
right?
deep thoughts.
And
Yeah,
when you're
they're
hanging out with
somewhere.
like Sarah Bareilles, are you pumping her for ideas of like how she
No.
puts a song
yes.
together? I mean, because
Yes,
she's
I have
pretty
done that.
amazing.
I have done that. And she's pretty prolific too. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think I've always been fascinated. The gift of songwriting is like one of the ultimate gifts. I think to be able to write a song that people relate to is just it's just a gift. It's such an amazing thing. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever did really grill her a lot about that. I think when I worked with her, we were so deep in the process that there weren't a lot of moments for that. But yeah, I've always been fascinated by it.
Would you ever play some of the stuff you've written and put it out there in the world? Or is that just terrifying to you?
No, it's not totally terrifying. I actually I had my first foray into like a first songwriting session that I did with somebody, which I'd never done before. And I talked to friends about it for like years. And so I finally did one and I was like, I can do that. That was fun. Or just like kind of what we're doing. It was on Zoom. It was just kind of like a hang. And then every once in a while we're kicking back ideas about songs or lyrics or what if we did this, what if we did that. But yeah, it feels very vulnerable just in terms of
Yeah,
I don't know.
vulnerable.
It feels more vulnerable than acting, I guess. Just because
Of course,
there's an emotional component. Right, or when you're acting, you're a character. But I don't know. With the songwriting, sometimes I think you can be a character. You can get into sort of a character for a song. It doesn't necessarily always have to be so personal or I don't know. But that's something I'm playing with.
So Vivi writes songs often, and I will go ahead and like voice memo what she's created and send them to
Sure.
Sarah Bareilles and be like, I have your next hit. This is a number one. You've got
This
to
is
get
good.
and yeah, and it'll be something like, I'm a kitty in a high heel shoe. I'm a kitty in a high heel shoe. I walk up to the club and I point at you. I'm a kitty in a high heel shoe.
I mean,
This
it's
is what's
perfect.
Hello. Now,
It's catchy. I
it's
thought it was
not
going to be like, I'm cleaning my room, cleaning my room. My mom is mad at me, so I'm cleaning my
No.
room. No, this is
No, Vivi will come up with things like, I have a crush. She was at surf camp last week and she's like, I think I have a crush. I was like, oh, okay. Did you meet this crush? She's like, no, but I know his eyes. And I was like, oh, that's a thing. I'm
That's a
sending
line.
it to
That's a
Sarah
good line.
Bareilles. I've never met him, but I know his eyes. Or I mean,
Her
like, you're gonna
ideas
write
away.
a song called
You need
I
to
Know
start
His
getting
Eyes.
paid for this. Like, don't be giving all the
No.
stuff, all the info away for free.
Yeah,
All
you gotta,
I'm
it's
saying-
You
true.
need a
You
cut
gotta
of
get
those
that,
songs.
that 50-50 songwriting credit.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
there is a kitty in a high heel shoe on your
Mhm.
Apple Music, just know where it really came from,
Really
y'all.
came from? It wasn't Sarah.
Vivi's going to be paying the bills soon enough.
Oh, golly, that's my hope.
I'm getting in a high heel shoe. That makes me. That's
I
totally
know.
like. What's the song from Schitt's Creek where she's like, a little bit of
Oh,
Lexus, a kitty in a high heel shoe. I didn't think of that.
How did you meet your husband? I want to know.
So we
Showmance.
Yeah, it was a showmance. Well, it was sort of a almost post showmance. Yeah, we met in a production of A Christmas Carol at the Goodman
Oh.
Theater in Chicago, Illinois. And yeah, we were playing opposite each other. And
Was he young Ebenezer and you were Belle?
I thought you were going to say, was he young? I said, we were both young. We're both very young. No, yes,
No.
he was. I never
Oh.
know in the different adaptations because I feel like in the book, does she even have a name? I guess she does.
I think she does. I will
Is it
always
Belle?
I will always remember the line because I was like, yes, girl. When Belle goes, I release you, Ebenezer. Whatever. Another love has replaced me. I release you. And I
release
remember
you.
being young, hearing that because we would watch the George C. Scott version of it
Mhm.
every year at Thanksgiving to kick off our Christmas season. And
Yeah.
I always just felt so empowered for her. I didn't feel sorry for her. I was like, that's right, girl. Let him go.
She's just going to put on her high heel shoes and walk away from Ebenezer going, I'm a kitty in a high heel shoe. I'm a kitty in a high heel shoe. Who needs
You don't
you?
need my dowry and I
Ebenezer?
don't need you. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So yes, he was young Ebenezer and I was young Belle. I should
And
call
like
her young.
and together since then, like there was no break in the relationship. You just were like, I like you, and
No,
now
there
we've
probably
spent
should have
14
been. I don't know how he's put up with this for this long. There was a couple times. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. And he was like, okay.
And is he still an actor or does he write or what does he do? Is he
No,
still
he doesn't really act anymore. He after acting with me, I think he just thought,
Yeah, that's the
this is
peak.
too hard. And no. He did act after that. Like he did the second national tour of War Horse and
Oh.
acted for a while and then and now is more on the writing producer side, sort of like artistic hub of making things happen and making new works happen. So that's sort of more what he's doing these days.
What's he producing?
He did a short film. He did that documentary about this amazing school that this gentleman was creating in
Right.
South Sudan. And
Yeah.
so he's actually working for a theater company now in the sort of management team, and he's working on that side of things at the moment. But yeah, he's sort of like getting back into writing. And during the pandemic, he was writing a lot and taking writing classes and Renaissance man.
Mm,
So
sounds
this-
A lot of things.
I like Renaissance man. But you said writer, and immediately I was like, Tracy Letts, The Minutes.
Yeah, what do you want to
Um,
know? I got all the dirt. I'm
Well,
kidding.
you like him a lot, and he likes you a lot. You guys have worked.
I'm still scared of him though.
You are
A little bit. In the
reverent
best
in
way.
reverence, right?
In reverence.
Yeah,
But I think he knows it. Like he jokes about that because I remember in rehearsal at one point, what was Anna DiShapiro, our director, was trying to get. She's like, I think I'm asking for a little more warmth here, and he was like, you don't understand that was my warm what I just gave you. He's just sort of like. I think he has a big, brilliant teddy bear, but like he's sort of an imposing figure. He's very tall. His resting face kind of looks like he's judging you.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be mad if he knew I said that.
But
He's a
was it
lov-
an
he's a lovely
extraordinary
gent.
experience? The Minutes.
Oh yeah, and it was working on the piece. I was really fascinated by, so that was extraordinary. But then we had COVID
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
COVID.
The
Right.
COVID.
Yeah.
Right
The
before opening, I think, right?
pandemic. Yeah, the
Yeah.
pandemic was like,
Pandemic.
yeah, Broadway shut down on Thursday. We were supposed to open on Sunday. So yeah, we had that whole layer going on of like, I loved that group. That was a great group to go through that strangeness with, because
Yeah.
it was the thing of coming in every day and just being like, are we doing the show today? We got to go like 30-minute. You sort of went in 30-minute increments because it was kind of like, okay, everybody's got to come in, everybody's got to test, then we got to wait to see if anybody's testing positive, and then we'll suss out whether we're doing the show, how many understudies are going on. Like at one point, I think we had more understudies on than original cast members, and
Wow.
our understudies were incredible. I mean, they carried us through. I don't have to knock on wood. It's done and gone, but I don't think we never had to cancel. But
I
yeah,
want to
there
know
was.
like rehearsal. I won't give away, but the plot is it's a smallish town. They're having a city hall type of meeting in
Yeah.
regards to a celebrated festival that's coming up, correct?
Mhm.
And then there's like a truth that comes out in regards to this celebration they hold every single year.
Yeah.
And it gets you thinking because there's a new city council member who starts, asking questions and wanting to know why and how, and in the asking of the questions, you're going along, and then out of nowhere, you're blindsided with this ritual that they do at the town meeting that is gory and strange and cultish. And the silence that happens in the audience is, I mean, you get chicken skin, you get goosebumps because you just never see this coming. I mean, I'm still thinking about how Tracy was able to kind of put it all together.
Yeah,
With
create the thread, but not give it
yes,
away.
and not give it away. How did you
Mm.
rehearse that last 10 minutes? I mean, it had to be a crazy safe rehearsal space in order
No, I'm
to go
dying to
there.
know what it was because I never saw it.
I
Well,
mean,
I
it's
think
not
it
a
was, and
spoiler now. Can you say? Can
I
we
have
talk
no
about
idea.
what that is?
I have no idea. Here's what I'll say about that is I just said I have no idea. Here's what I'll say about it is that part on the page is there are some things that are spelled out and some things that are not. So I think, and I know the play has had a life. They've been doing it. It's funny. We're all still on like a text chain, and we'll get sent pictures of like, oh my gosh, here's the Polish production of the minutes, and so interesting to see how it's interpreted visually. The ending, if we'll see production shots or whatever, be like, whoa, I never would have thought of that, or who's which character. We're trying to figure it out. But yeah, so the ending is not necessarily spelled out on the page, so I think it's very open to interpretation and direction, and what a company would come up with as far as like you were saying, Steph, this sort of needle that's been threaded all the way through. There was a lot of talk in the rehearsal room about not giving things away. I think to me the challenge in enacting the play was writing that line as an actor, feeling like I've created the benchmarks to make the ending make sense for myself and for the whole, like to get to where I need to get to, but not giving it away to the audience. And sort of your meter for that was the sort of new council member, Mr. Peel, because he's the one sort of gauging what is normal or not normal in the room.
Right.
Because he's only been to a couple meetings before. So yes, and the challenge of the play is you get like, I don't think this is giving anything away, but you get like one flashback sequence. So you see this one council meeting. It all happens in 2 hours or something, basically the time of the play, the span of how long the play actually takes for the audience to see. And then you have one flashback sequence. So the audience only sees really mostly one version of the sort of scope of this world and who these characters are. And then you get this quick flashback sequence.
Glimpse. Mm-hmm.
So in the room, I think it was a challenge for all the actors to sort of try to pepper in what things were like before the shit went down. Like you talk about, all of a sudden they dig up this dirt, right? This truth, we talked about truth earlier. This truth is revealed. How much do you tell the truth? How much of the truth do you tell? How much do you ignore? I think that's a lot of what the play is about. How much do we reckon with our truths and where we come from and what we've done?
Like it
I'm
was
glad, I'm
almost like
glad.
an M. Night Shyamalan type experience. And I almost wanted to go back after I knew what the ending was
And
and
see
go
if
back.
And watch it
everything.
again.
Yes, and see it again.
Yeah,
Almost
Fred's
like The
fair.
Sixth Sense, right? When he's
Yeah.
like, I see dead people. And you're like, oh my gosh, it was all there.
All
I
along.
just
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
see it. So
Yeah.
now I need to go back and really
Yeah.
see all the nuances.
But it didn't
right?
run very long, right? It
No, it was
didn't-
always meant to be a limited run.
Oh, it was. It
Yeah.
was.
There were a lot
And
of like
God bless-
fancy
Yeah, and God
people,
bless our
fancy actor people.
producers. They hung on. Jeffrey Richards hung on for like 2 years and was like, we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back
Over the
when
pandemic.
we shut down the pandemic. And he
Yeah.
did. He made it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I
um,
saw it.
But
Yep.
it's interesting, the ending, and I know it's for people that didn't see it, it's like maybe strange that we're speaking about it or describing it, but the ending we rehearsed and re-rehearsed and redid, and I don't know how many times. I'm not even sure, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. I think the artistic team sort of felt the same. I'm not sure we ever really cracked the ending.
Hmm.
But I remember when I read the play the first time, that was the thing where I was like, I was totally intrigued by it, totally confused by it, troubled by it.
Mhm.
And I was like, can I be a part of this? Can I do, because it's so, there's just a lot of reckoning that happens. But yeah, it certainly wasn't a play that provided any answers, but it was sort of a cautionary tale, I think, about.
Yeah, it is in regards to the indigenous people and how we tell
Oh.
the story of, the Native Americans versus the pride of the
whitewashed story.
pioneers. And
Yeah.
yes, correct. So
Yeah.
we had Larissa Fast Horse on here, had an incredible conversation with her. And, she has the Thanksgiving play that was a great success
Right,
at second
right.
stage. And I'd be really interested to, hear her thoughts as to, because it was effectual and it got me thinking about, like you said, the truths that we tell, the things that we have celebrated through centuries that are actually celebrating tragedies and devastations and pillaging and
Yeah,
how
putting a
we have
spin on it
framed
that-
the narrative.
yeah,
Yes,
that
yes,
makes
yes,
us
yes,
look
yes,
like
yes.
makes the white people look like heroes. Yeah.
Until the
Mhm.
last 10
Right.
minutes of the play, where then
So
you look
that's
at
what-
the white
okay.
people and you go, oh, they're
Oh.
not in their right minds, these people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and you see all these, and that was a choice. There was one person of color on this town council, and you see, I guess this is giving something away. So close your ears if you don't want to hear the ending. But it's like, it is this moment where you see the new person is basically says, you all are going to just not do anything. You're all going to move forward with this. You're going to take this to the next level. And everybody goes, yes. And here are my reasons why.
Yep. Yep.
And so I think in
Mm.
that, right. And that was hard. That was hard work to do. I remember early on in rehearsal, the company, the actors just having these conversations, especially with Sally Murphy and Blair Brown and I were the only women on the council. And we would have a lot of conversations about like, I just feel so gross. I feel so gross this week. And they were like, yeah, we feel gross. We're trying to do the work of coming to grips with like saying our characters are okay with really awful things. So we have to we're doing the work of being like, I'm going to swallow that pill. I'm going to, I'm going to
We're
do this
rationalizing.
rationalize this gross thing that I'm doing for whether it's my daughter or my family or my
job.
ancestors or my status in society, my job, whatever.
Yep.
And sort of asking yourself those questions of like,
So you leave the theater wondering where you do that in your own life.
That's
even to
exactly
smaller
right.
I think
extent.
so.
Yeah,
That's
that's
exactly right.
That's a
certainly
great
for
play.
some people being like,
Yeah.
okay, where's
Yep.
my
Where do I do
line?
that? Yeah.
Yep.
Where's
Yeah,
my
where's
line
the
that I
line?
don't cross? And
Right.
am I moving it all the time? Would I be
Right.
willing to move it? Yeah.
Right.
So I think
Right.
that was very interesting.
Wow.
Very,
Oh
very
gosh, I wish I saw it.
All right, we've arrived at the 5 questions, but just before, a word from our sponsors. If you were to have a special power of any kind or a special skill of any kind, worldly or otherworldly, what would it be?
Flying. That was the first thing that came into
Flying.
my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
a
I
good one.
might want to be able to like read people's minds, but that could get really
Oof,
squirrely
that's a
real
lot.
fast.
Yeah.
And I
All
don't
right.
think I'd want to see into the future.
Mm-mm.
I wanted to time travel because I always look at my pictures and go, oh gosh, that was fun when she was 3.5 and we did that. I'd love to just go back for a day, live that moment, and then come on back home. Yeah.
I just want to talk to animals because I want to know if they think what I think they're thinking.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I want to talk to animals. I want to go to the
animals.
gorillas and then be able to know what they're thinking. Oh,
Yeah.
so cool.
Oh.
All right. When you were a kid, tell me what was your favorite toy or stuffed animal? What was its name and where'd you get it? New one, new question.
Oh, my favorite stuffed animal was a stuffed polar bear. I think it was like a gunned stuffed polar bear, and his name was Bear.
Oh.
Where'd you get it?
I don't know. My parents got it somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know where they got it.
Jess, if you were to be arrested and we called Andy and said, hey, Andy, your girl is in jail, what would he have assumed you have done to land yourself there?
She's in the clink.
Yeah.
That if I was like arrested. I feel like it'd be some wackadoo story, but like a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I was in church saying the rosary and the doors got locked in and I couldn't find my way out. And
So I climbed up on the crucifix.
I broke a stained glass window.
Yeah, maybe it would be some strange like breaking and entering story or something, because it was like I really needed to poop and I don't know. It's terrible. Yeah, he'd be like, she what? Yeah, no, that tracks. I don't know.
All right. If you can make the ultimate sandwich, what is it? What's on it? What is it? Calorie free. Calorie free.
If I didn't have,
sandwich.
I have a gluten allergy, but if I didn't have a gluten allergy, it would be like probably a really good. Ooh, it would either be like a French bread or maybe like a toasted sourdough. Whatever it is, it would be crunchy.
Yep.
You got to toast your bread. You got to have that crunch. Ooh, what else? It's definitely got to have mayo on it. It's definitely got to have salt and pepper on it. You got to season your sandwich. It's probably going to have like an arugula on it.
I like it. Peppery.
It's going to have, I love a turkey Sammy. It's probably going to have lots of turkey on it. Tomato.
Are you an avocado girl?
I could do an avocado, but it squishes right out.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about it.
But it's the dream sandwich, so it stays together. She holds.
Stays together. So maybe maybe there's some avocados on there. Definitely some tomato. Again, that salt gets on the tomato. Like a really sharp white cheddar with like pickles and mayo and
I love pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're starving.
This is a great question, Mary Lee. Did you see how excited she got? Everybody's going to get excited. You say sandwich and people are like, oh
yes. Yeah.
All right. Last one. If you were nail polish color, what would it be? And what's the cheeky little name of that nail polish color? Yeah.
Okay. So it would be like a mango-y kind of like a bright mango-y sort of color, not quite persimmon, not quite as dark as that, but not totally orange. It's going to have a little like a corally mango color. And what would it be called? Cheese Louise. And I don't know. That has nothing to do with that color. I suppose it could be like more of a yellow, but I don't know.
Yeah. Cheetos things. Those are kind of orangey.
Those are
Yeah,
kind of
they are.
orangey.
Kind of
they
orangey.
are. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
They're
kind of the color of our logo too. That kind of not quite pink mango. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Stages. I love you. You're a delight.
What a pleasure.
It was so fun.
This is so nice just hanging and chatting with you guys. Let's just do this more often.
Yes.
I would love it. Come back anytime.
Thanks, gals.
And now here's what struck a chord with us. What a delight.
I told you.
Just lovely.
She really is. And I mean, again, I have all of these questions about her faith. I did want to discuss her love of Disney. When I say she does really lead with her heart and her gut rather than what is expected of her, she's another one that's not on social media. She does.
No, I know. I was looking around trying to find some of her social media stuff.
She does her work. She does it well. She does it not quietly because she makes a huge splash when she's there, but she doesn't need to amplify, hey, look at me, or this is what I'm working on. Or Jessie just wrote, she said, what a nice way to start the day. Thanks.
Aw, so nice.
I know. I love having these conversations early. They really do kind of start me off in a in a great way. Yeah, a great way. Also, you said something about, gosh, I was having a bad moment, so I just had to turn it off. But, a bad moment doesn't make a bad day. A bad day doesn't make a bad week, and a bad week doesn't make a bad year. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because we talk about this a lot. Like when Michael and I were in the woods, I'm like, last night, you're going to sleep and something's on your mind and it feels like it's just the end of the world. Then you get a good night's sleep. You wake up the next day, you're like, I'll handle it.
Right.
And I mean, it's just a moment. It's a moment. And most of those moments just live in our mind because we just created it anyway, or how we chose to react to something or whatever it is. We're usually creating most of those moments. So you can just as easily create the positive ones, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Mine is the 4 agreements that I just keep thinking, don't take it personally. Don't take it. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you. So just release it. That conversation you had, you're festering in it. That other person probably isn't. So just release it.
And it's even like that with the kids. When we were talking about going back and checking in with the kid a couple of days later, what I used to notice, especially when Seb was little, was I'd be carrying it for 2 days and thinking about how I'm going to approach it. And then I'd come back and I'd talk to him. He was like, what are you even talking about? What are you talking about? What? And I've been carrying it around for 3 days. And I'm like, God.
Too much space. It's paying too much rent in your head.
But the 4 agreements, I love that book.
I do too.
That's a good book. It was something like, what were the 4? It was like,
be truthful to your word.
True to your word.
Don't take anything personally. These, I was going to say, these are so easy to remember. And yet here you and I are.
We have to Google it. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions.
Don't make assumptions.
And always do your best. Basic.
Oh, these, yes.
We had to Google that.
Basic, but large. These are large things. Yeah.
When I read it, the one that really struck me was don't take anything personally. I was like, I had to really, that one really like shifted the way I thought about things.
Yeah.
I think I used to take things really personally.
Yeah.
And when you realize like, no, it's not about you. Like, well, how somebody reacts has nothing to do with you most of the time. It's not you. It's their own experience. That was a big one for me.
I guess I make assumptions too. I kind of do that a lot. No, I don't. I speculate. That's a different thing.
Is it different?
I think so. Well, if you assume something, that can go either way. Oh, I assume they know, or I assume they'll be there, or I assume it's going to happen.
Something.
Well, that I do, but I can craft a soap opera storyline in life like nobody's business. And that might be an Italian thing too. Like, the players are intricate and the storylines are really heightened. And then you're just like, oh, no, they were caught in traffic. But that never even occurs to me. You know what I mean? Like that scenario never occurred to me. But to have the Colombian cartel, drop out of a helicopter with a net to capture them, that seems plausible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know what tomorrow is?
Talk to me.
August 1st.
Our anniversary.
It is 2 years exactly from our first launch. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I'm proud of what we've created. I'm excited for the growth yet to come.
And today is the last day to go and vote.
That's right.
Go to podcastawards.com.
Yep.
And we are the first 2 categories, best podcast and best female hosted podcast.
Yep.
Go vote. This is the last day. Go right now. Hang up and go right now. Podcastawards.com. We would like it if you did.
A lot.
All right. Well, this was a really great way to start the day. Thank you.
It sure was. Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Jessie. And everybody, thank you for listening. All right. I'll see you later.
Goodbye. Stages podcast is produced by Stephanie J. Block and Mary Lee Fairbanks in association with iHeartRadio. It can be heard on the iHeartRadio podcast and iHeartRadio Broadway or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Please join our cast by signing up at stagespodcast.net, listening, sharing, and leaving a 5-star review. It all makes such a difference in getting the word out. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again soon.